Hi, I'm Alyssa with Global Wholesale Banking Sustainability Office. I joined OCBC in 2011, and along the way I've had postings in Singapore, Myanmar, and most recently in sustainability. So I joined as a management trainee in 2011, where I was rotating across the different departments before I joined my permanent role as a relationship manager in corporate banking. And this is where I spent the nursery of my career, learning the ropes in terms of deepening my credit skills, building customer relationships, and building up my internal network as well. So I think all these gave me a strong foundation when I was exploring other opportunities within the group. So in 2017, I was approached to take up an overseas secondment to Yangon branch to lead a sub-team within the business banking team. So I was initially very hesitant about going because it was a country that I was not very familiar with. But then with strong support from my family, my manager and my peers, I decided to take a chance and say yes to a 2-year posting. And this was probably the steepest learning curve that I've had in my career so far, having to hit the ground running and step up to lead a mini team while dealing with the client work, the regulatory requirements and the operations. So I remember my first day of my work at Yangon branch, which coincided with the branch's 2nd anniversary, where there was a 300-person sit-down gala dinner. So my first task was to host a table of customers I had never met in a country that I knew very little about. So this ended up being a successful event, and I went away from that night with a sense of achievement and pride at completing such a daunting task, and making friends that I still keep in contact with until today. I think that through my time in different roles, I was lucky enough to build up a good network within the bank. So our now CSO Mike and I had worked together when we were in corporate banking in Singapore. And it was this random connection that ended up changing the course of my career. So in 2019, while I was still in Yangon, Mike had reached out to me casually to ask whether I was intending to come back to Singapore and whether I was interested in joining his new team in doing sustainable finance advisory. So this was something that was not on my radar at that time, but the more I explored and I researched this field, I thought it was something that resonated with me and an aspect of banking that had a very long runway. I thought that the skills that I had from being a relationship manager in client management and being able to structure a deal could be complementary in a role in sustainability. So I decided that I wanted to pursue this quite seriously, and I thought that this could be a new challenge that could be a good next step to my career. So I finally pressed the button more than 2 years later, and it's really thanks to Mike who took a chance on me during that time that I was able to pivot to this role in sustainability. Sustainability as a field was still relatively new to me when I joined. So in the first year, I really invested the time in taking internal and external courses so that I could build up my knowledge faster. And this helped me settle into my job with a little bit more confidence. But I must say that 3 years on, this is still an ongoing learning experience for me. Before you default to saying no and doing what is comfortable, you have to really weigh the pros and cons of it. Is this a move that makes sense even though it was not part of your original plan? If it is, then give it a try. And at best, it can be the launch of a new exciting career trajectory that brings you to new and exciting places. And at worst, even if it's a terrible fit for you, it may be 2 or 3 years of your life and it's not something that's irreversible. So just be open, do it now while you're given the chance.